If you have a powerful message, sermon, or story that could influence the world, media producer, consultant, and author Phil Cooke can teach you what you need to know about creativity, communication, Hollywood, media, culture, and the faith to make it happen. He's produced TV and film programming in more than 60 countries around the world, and in the process, he's been shot at, survived 2 military coups, fallen out of a helicopter, and in Africa has been threatened with prison. And during that time, through his company in Los Angeles, California, he's helped some of the largest Christian and nonprofit organizations in the world use media to tell their story in a changing, disrupted culture. Phil joins us today to tell us about how he's helping churches and pastors develop an online strategy that is effective and engaging for their online congregation during the COVID-19 crisis. Phil Cooke, thank you so much for joining us today on this program.
Thank you, Sydney. I'm thrilled to be here. This is really fun. And let me just say, I'm a huge Cornerstone fan. I'm a Christian TV guy. I go way back to the early days of Christian television. And, you know, it's interesting that I'm sure you're seeing, and I'm hearing from a lot of Christian stations and networks that viewership is up. More and more people are watching TV right now, particularly Christian television, I think, looking for hope. So I really appreciate what you guys at Cornerstone are doing. And this is the time, I think, that people need to understand we need to keep Christian television on the air because it really does matter.
Yeah, thank you so much, Phil, for your support. And I agree that, you know, this is a time for us to be a voice of hope. But first, I want to ask, how are you doing? And what are things like in your area in California?
Well, we're locked down. You know that we found out this week we can't even go to the beach anymore. So in California, if you can't go to the beach, things are pretty bleak. But we're keeping up hope. It's interesting. Churches in California are doing a great job connecting with their congregations. The Salvation Army, we've done some work with the Salvation Army here, and we've actually linked up a number of major churches in Los Angeles with the Salvation Army because churches aren't using their toilet paper, they're not using their cleaning supplies because people aren't coming right now. So they're donating those to the Salvation Army to help people in need. So it's just interesting that during this time of crisis, churches are partnering with other ministry organizations to really help people and make an impact. So it's exciting from that perspective.
Yeah, it's beautiful to see how everyone is coming together, especially the body of Christ during this outbreak. And, you know, it's really changing the way that we do church. But you have a solution about, can you tell us about Maximize Church, the online webinar that you've created?
Yeah, we're doing a session tomorrow, Thursday, here in Los Angeles. It'll be free online. And our goal is to get pastors, communication professionals, you know, media people at churches together to really talk about some of the things I've been seeing. It's funny, Sydney, I've been watching about 50 live streams over the last 2 Sundays. And just to see how churches are doing and what's working and what's not. And so I'll have a report tomorrow on the webinar about some of the things that I'm seeing happening. Some churches are doing a great job. And let me just say, you don't have to be a big church and have a bunch of cameras and a big crew. I've heard reports of people of 25 and 50 church members who are just setting up a mobile device, you know, an iPhone or an iPad, and they're streaming their service live, and they're amazed at the number of people that watch. So right now, you know, the church is not a building. The church is us. Church is people. And so if we need to go online, I'll just say the great thing I'm seeing is pastors finally realize the online audience is a legitimate, serious audience. And so we're hearing such great reports about how churches are connecting with those people all over the country.
And Phil, will there be a recording of the webinar available just in case people can't catch it?
Yeah, we'll do it live tomorrow. It's going to be at 11 o'clock Pacific time, and it'll be all over the country, and you can go to philcooke.com and find out more about it. But I think that the key thing is we'll post it later if they can't be a part of it, because I know people from around the world have been calling me that want to be on it. We'll have our whole team. And so, yeah, we're excited about it because it's such a great opportunity right now.
And Phil, I just want to ask you one more thing. You know, with Easter is just weeks away, I know a lot of pastors are trying to think about, you know, ways to stream and do different things. Well, the webinar really helped them understand better ways to have a better connection, because I know a lot of pastors, you know, the connection points were a little tough this time, utilizing Facebook and different social media outlets.
Absolutely. You know, the advice I'm giving people for Easter is don't think in terms of a big extravagant thing. You know, normally we'll build maybe a big set on stage, or we'll have a lot of flowers, we'll do big, you know, music. This may be the time to make an intimate experience between you and the viewer out there. You know, sometimes what you do on stage doesn't always translate well to a camera. And so I'm encouraging people to think about, you know, your audience 100% is now on the other side of that camera. So what can we do that'll make the experience more real, more intimate, more personal for them? And that's the thing to think about Easter. Don't worry about it being a big extravaganza. think more about it being a personal time when you can minister to people through the camera.
Well, thank you so much, Phil. I know that your expertise and your tips are really going to help out so many churches out there that are looking for solutions this time. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Sydney.
I mean, this is amazing because it is such an opportunity for the church to reach beyond